Thought series exclusive.
Open your
This is X from the Prophet of Thought series. You know,
The front is stereo.
I was recently in New York City. Spent about 10 days there, actually. So while I was there, I decided to stop by XYAYX Institute in Brownsville, Brooklyn, so I can build with the man himself, Que. If you follow us, you recognize the name from an interview that I conducted with Brother Que a while back. You're going to get a chance to hear Brother Que build on how XYAYX was started and what XYAYX is all about. Also, you'll get a quick tour of the XYAYX Institute facility. So, without further ado, here's our T.P.O.T media exclusive with Brother Que at XYAYX. Yeah, y'all know we will go from freaking shooting stills to shooting video to walking to running, and then next thing you know, tripod. We have no type of set schedule here, boy. We are very unorthodox, but we thorough and we try to tell the truth. And like I said, today we're here with Brother Que. Brother Que, what's good, man?
It's good to y'all, Black Power. You already know all the time. And here's XYAYX Studios. Yes, sir.
So let me go right into it. You and I, full disclosure, y'all, me and Que, we kind of know each other a little bit. We've talked before. If y'all remember, I interviewed the brother a while back. So I want to give y'all some full disclosure, especially my new people who watch the T.P.O.T network. I want y'all to know that I have conversated with this brother before because I'm a full disclosure person. But anyway, I still have to ask him some questions. So just shut up and watch. Yeah, Brother Que, let me get right into it. The reason why I want to come up here today and talk to you, brother, is because I say again, I think what you're doing is magnificent. But I also want the people to get a chance to hear through my forum about what you do here, what XYAYX is about, what you are about, and what this whole movement that you have started, because I consider this to be somewhat of a movement. This whole movement that you have started, what is it about?
Unity, honor, discipline, focus, mastery of yourself and your craft, through your craft. It was a concept birthed by a couple of us about 2002, long time ago. We was in college. I didn't come up with the name. It was Chris actually said the name, and then all of us kind of put how do we spell it together. And the concept behind coming up with the name was just to come up with something that we can apply to anything that we do, but it's a name that's new and it's our word. It's made by black men, and we can put it to anything. And we were young. A lot of us fell off. Most of us fell off, and I kind of ran with it. And I'm an audio engineer. I was a DJ at first. I wasn't the greatest, but it led me to engineering. And I kind of blew up with engineering and took off with that. And so a lot of people know XYAYX through the music, but that's just because that's what I bring to the idea of XYAYX. But if you came on board, you could be a handball person, you teach handball. You got XYAYX handball, that's what you do. You could be a painter, you could be XYAYX painter, whatever it is, that's what you bring to the movement, and we all, just can keep increasing the platform that we have with each other and the resources. And the standard is that you master what you do. We don't really, before I even say we don't really, I personally know how hard it is for many of us in our community to lock into what we do. And you being a master mechanic, you know how important it is to be great at what you do. And our community lacks that. And for me, I guess that's what made me be so successful as an entrepreneur in the field of being in the studios, when a lot of people haven't made any money in it and they kind of failed and had a hard time in it. I kind of flourished in it. And so that's kind of what the core of the movement was centered around, only because that's what I brought to it. Now that we go forward, we have the photo studio, we have the 2 music studios, we're trying to add a 3rd one, a new location. We got t-shirt printing, graphic design, artwork, got the barber shop standing behind you. And then of course everybody knows about the Institute. The Institute everybody loves. That's pretty much, when the landlord gave me the space and we partnered up, this whole thing was a photo studio. I mean, I don't do pictures. You know what I mean? This room right here, we're about to carve into a music studio. And this photo studio is to be like that, but we put the wall up.
Yeah, we're gonna swing around and give them another little look. We showed them a little something when we first came in. We're gonna give them a little eyeful. Professional grade equipment up in here, y'all.
Yeah. And it's crazy, that wall, life is crazy. Life is crazy. So that wall was the beginning idea. That wall is the school, that institute.
That wall.
That wall. Because when I got the space, it was a matter of saying like, all right, can you afford the space upstairs, and then what are you going to do with all of the space? And if anybody knows me on Facebook, I've always made videos about how the churches misuse their space and their resources and they're not doing enough. And I always say the first chance I get a 20 by 20 foot space, I'm turning it into something. And so the first challenge was to be able to pay the rent and then be able to pay this rent, which was a new bill, an extra $1,500 a month, and be able to afford the wall. I didn't want to put the wall up myself. But luckily, through what I learned and most people get into music studios and never learn carpentry. Like, I became not to say great, but I became a carpenter, and I could build a lot of stuff. I could do a lot of stuff with carpentry, but I learned most of that through building studios and building locations for my studios. Just like downstairs, we did all the renovations. We don't have to pay nobody. So when I was doing the wall, I didn't want to do it, and I thought I'd be able to get people through the community easy. And it's crazy. People told me $1,800 for that wall. I had just had surgery. And I said, excuse me? I said, brother, I'm not no white girl with blonde hair. What you mean? I'm not to say it like that, but I'm not no airhead. What you talking about? Like, that's a day's worth of work. Then they hit, oh, it's not a day's worth of work. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm trying to build a space for the community. I got you. You know what I mean? I could do it for like $1,500. Then somebody else came, yo, Reggie, I can do it for $450, son. It's going to take me like 3 days, son. I'm like, 3 days to do a wall? I'm like, yo, bro, I can do this. Oh, nah, son, I know you can do it by yourself, but you're not a professional. I'm like, yo, bro, I can have that wall up in about 4 or 5 hours, son. Y'all wildin'. I do that wall in 3 hours if I'm pissed off. My brother Doc with me, he do that wall. Doc, how long it take to do that wall? 2.5 hours?
Pretty much.
You got the nerve to tell me it's gonna take you 3 days, and I just told you we building a community learning space in, and you're gonna charge me 15? So that was the original challenge. So I love my little milestones. Some people forget them, but for me, that was the first step. Once we got that step done, that was birthed already. You know what I mean? The studio, we're gonna have this space. It's not going over the building. We start building. So we're not. It's just a matter of, can we build a space and can we turn it into something? So it's almost like a challenge. Like, all right, now that you got the room up, what you gonna do with it? And so I'd be like, oh, well, I'm like, well, everybody named Mother that comes to our studio then needs a GED, so we could do GED classes. So that was the first thing we started getting in, and that's the GED program is. If anybody ever taught GED, it's a very challenging thing to do. You know, the people who need their GED are living life, so they're not like kids, they got jobs, they got bills, they got court, they got life. So you got to work with them on their schedule, and then getting volunteer teachers to come in and be able to, accept a room like this to be something to be taken serious. That was the first challenge, where you having volunteers come in and look at this like, y'all like a bunch of weed smoking rappers. First of all, then they like, alright, then they go and they look at the space like, y'all even have nothing in here, this is a little space. I'm like, lady, dude, there is no space like this. It is a little space, but that's how sad it is. That little space, there's no equivalent, or there's not enough equivalents. And once I started to realize, I'm like, this is crazy. So then we started to learn how to pick the volunteers a little better, but that's just very challenging. Everybody loves the kids, so it's easy to get teachers to come and work with the kids. But with the GED population, which is probably before I started getting into the, everybody knows about the credit stuff, but before the credit stuff, that's my focus, was the GED population. The city comptroller of Brooklyn stated that the single most needed thing to be dealt with is the GED, because that's going to increase the profitability of Brooklyn tenfold. Just because there's 300,000 black people, and he didn't say that, but it's 1/5 of Brooklyn needs their GED. You know what I mean? 1/5 of Brooklyn does not make more than $24,000 a year down there. 1/5 of Brooklyn is not going to increase their economic base each year by $5,000 to $10,000 just because they're lacking a certain certificate. And when you count the numbers, 300,000 of those people are black people. So 300,000 black people in Brooklyn don't make over 20,000. And if they did make over 24,000, 25,000, it wasn't for 5 years at a time. It might have been 1 year they hit a number, 2 years, but more than likely they've been only making 22,000, 26,000, 21,000, 19,000, and it's been a struggle. And so for me, that was hands down. I'm like, yo, all we got to do is get 10 people. And I was gun-ho, but it ain't, we still pushing. It's a very challenging program to run, and so I say that to people to understand, like, this is where our community needs help with. And I've had people say, you working on that white man stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. You go downstairs right now, there are no white people. Anytime you go downstairs and there's 10 people, 4 of them probably need the GED. So me as a businessman, I can just put in a business perspective, they will not be able to go afford studio time because the jobs they will get won't be enough to make a certain amount of money to pay their bills. I can just keep it right there. Don't ever have to look at it on the pro-black side. It's like, look, I want my clients to be able to make money and can afford this discretionary fund. Studio time is a discretionary activity. It's no different than Starbucks. You don't need coffee. So Starbucks can make money, music studios can make money. But if our community is not in the educational position to make that money, I'm doing a disservice. And that bothers me. And I've had people that called me on that, like, yo, Q, you just doing nothing but taking money from the hood. But they know me and they know that I have a bigger purpose. But they say, yo, Q, don't forget that. You see what I mean? Because you can get caught up chasing the industry and just chasing dollars. But I tell anybody, the GED is not about white people. It's about black power. It's about education. It's about the fact that systematically we have 300,000 black people who are locked out of a certain level of income because of a document. And majority of them are black men who are unapproachable by the system. The system doesn't cater to black men. They have more services to put you in jail. I just put a video up that the biggest community center for black males in this neighborhood is Crossroads Jail. They have more money per person because if you count, who are they servicing? Black males. So majority of the funding going there is to service black males. It's a service they provide. Juvenile detention. There's juvenile retention. There's juvenile detention. There's juvenile, I forgot what you call it when they come out and you keep them from going back. There's all these things are services. They're community services.
And they're making money off of it.
And so when I tell you that the biggest program in this neighborhood of Brownsville, East New York for black males is Crossroads Jail. That's the reality. So and I had to put that to context. And so the GED program, it's very important. So anybody watching this, if you're in New York, if you're ready to be part of a program that's struggling, be straight out on the camera, and it's going to continue to struggle. That's the reality of it. There's 300,000 people that need a GED that's black in New York. Anybody getting into that system is going to have to deal with a struggling, failing system. You'll have people that are going to be coming in that need Metro cards. People that come in, they need letters for their court. People that's coming in and their phones is off the next day. People that I have people that just got to the country, don't know the last grade they was in. People that the last grade they was in was 20 years ago. They've been living life for 20 years. You see what I mean? And so I'm really passionate about that. Just as passionate about it I am with the K-12 program. Now, youth enrichment program. That's not as challenging. That's more about, to me, our internal perception to the community. because parents have to feel comfortable coming here to a place that has a bunch of rappers hanging around it in the middle of Brownsville and be able to have their kids here. You know, so we're about to approach that a lot differently going forward this week, because we didn't reach out to the community as of yet. We had a lot of people that just know us through the stuff that we do in the community outside of Brownsville that work with us. But we haven't actually we're about to do a canvas this week and next week, hopefully, going door by door and telling people we got GED classes, we do free credit repair, we also going to offer them basic building services, like if you need your garbage maintained, you need your gates painted, you need your snow shoveled, don't bring no Indians or Chinese people to Brownsville or to black neighborhoods. It's violation time. I'm telling y'all that straight, don't come in. Don't come in. And there's a lot of other people that's about to get kicked out, politically kicked out, properly, the right way. We ain't gonna violate you. We're gonna make sure your business is not allowed in our community. Legally, you know what I mean? And so, if you're coming to our community, be prepared to invest in our community. Paying taxes, you're obligated to pay taxes. Investing is beyond taxes. So we're not talking, I don't want to hear you say, I pay my taxes, I'm good. That's the standard to be in America. So in order to be in this community, you have to invest. And it's the same thing they do in white neighborhoods, the same thing they do in Jewish communities. You're not going to just pop up and come in and making money and not invest in the community.
Would you go along with, say, the Arabs or the Asians or anyone like that come in here and hire black people? Would you be in favor of that? If they gave black people jobs if they came in here with a store or a laundromat or a restaurant, whatever they have, and they gave black people jobs, would you be cool with them being here?
No, that's not enough. Who are you hiring? See, who are they hiring when they come in? And that's something, you know, and I understand that a lot of us, that's the abuse that we become used to. You know, shout out to the Dominicans, the Koreans, the Asians. However, we can't move into your neighborhood as a family, open up a business and not hire one Chinese person and be cool.
Exactly.
So
that's why I asked.
Yeah, there's no way you can come over here and then, because you have target to so what you're saying is the bigger corporations. So, yeah. And not even the bigger ones. So all of the hair salons, they got a number of black women working there. You got T-Mobile. T-Mobile got a number of black employees. What are you doing for Brownsville?
Okay.
How much did you make in profits? You paid your taxes on your profits. Good. We don't control that. We're about to get into that. To control where the taxes go, get into your legislative body, or you can start controlling the actual taxes yourself. You see what I mean? And that's another thing. But if your taxes are not going to the services that are needed in your community, the people that build the stoplights, in New York City it's really exaggerated and it's bureaucratically and politically controlled. You know, and so, and because of the money and the monetary value of that control, it's no joke in New York. You know, you got council people, they may be getting $100,000, $80,000 off on the books, but they're getting table talk $1 million a year, $200,000 a year in table talk, you know, and private lobbying talk, just to let certain things go the way it's supposed to go, and a lot of, you know, where the taxes go to certain things. And so, it's the community's duty to control its taxes. It's the community's duty to make sure that each person in its community invests in itself. It's the law. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying anything crazy. You know, it's just that we weren't taught how to address the law. We wasn't taught to say there are 17 bodegas in this district that are counted as food retail stores. The food retail tax dollar was voted on every August, along with the other allocation of tax dollars for that district. So now if you want to control that district, you have to talk to who's controlling that tax dollar allocation, and saying that all of the retail stores, all of the liquor stores in this district tax are going to go to these schools. But because nobody's watching Miss Watson or Mr. Johnson or whatever the heck their name is at their little private tables saying like, look, don't worry about that. We need these tax dollars to go here. We need them to go here. They go anywhere. So it's twofold. You have to pay taxes, and those taxes have to go to the embedment of the community. So if you're providing a service to embed the community, you have the right to ask for a direct hand in the taxes being collected by those in your community. Now, how you go about doing that, there's multiple ways. You see what I mean? Long as you do it the legal way, you good. But the reality is, you got 10 bodegas in your neighborhood, that's a food retail tax. They pay tax for selling food. And that tax is controlled by the local municipality, which is controlled by your local council people. And those are the ones that's saying, well, the $700,000 that was collected this year from our retail tax is going to go to fixing up these 17 streets. No, I'm sorry. You need to take a part of that and put that to this program over here.
Exactly.
And in technicality, the person controls where their taxes goes. We just got used to being told, give me my tax and send it there. Well, we can actually write a letter to the IRS stating I paid my taxes directly to this corporation right here, this nonprofit. And what do? They actually are the ones that built the new signs in the community. They got the license to do it. They provide these G.E.D service. They provide that service. That's one angle. Then the other angle is, after all of the taxes is said and done, you still over here making money. So that's the fourth tax. And that's what we got to get used to doing. There is a fourth tax, and that's the community tax. And we forgot that. We forgot that. No, yo Asian ass want to come over here and make bread. Yeah, you paid the white man his taxes, but now you got to invest in this game over here. We need new basketball screens. We need new screens inside of PS267.
Yeah, if they're in this community, they should be contributing something to this community.
Yeah.
They making money here.
Mm-hmm.
They're making the community's money.
And if they don't want to, the community, it's your job to evict them.
Mm-hmm.
Be smart, be brave, be diligent, and don't get caught.
The community needs to become a force, man.
They are. It's just that they have to. When you go to other countries, you see what an eviction looks like by the community.
Yeah.
They up and lift your ass, your whole building, your moms, your sister. All you gotta go. You got to go, or we put tires around you.
That's where it's going, man. It's going those little blocks by blocks, you know. It's not going to be these big 10,000, 20,000 people movements. It's not going to be big stuff like it can evolve to that.
Exactly. Over time.
But it's got to start with the little tiny part of the community. Taking control of that community, then that next block, then that next block, then that next block, then that next block. Now you have, you know, that's how you expand it, because now you have a greater force, because you've taken back the streets block by block by block by block.
And in New York City particular, and Brooklyn and Harlem in New York City, I'm speaking to us black folks, protect Brownsville and Bed-Stuy. Harlem is gone. The little bit that's left, protect it. But Harlem gone. Brownsville and Bed-Stuy, we still own.
Yeah,
we have a very strong arm in those hands. And so if you're watching this, start working together in your local community of Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, and wherever you're at and watching this, and localize those people and take over your little space. You see what I mean? And then connect with other people who are doing that. And y'all share resources. You know what I mean? Y'all share lobbying costs. Y'all share whatever y'all need to make sure that y'all two groups grow, and then go after another one. You know, and so
be harder for them to gentrify if you got communities that's kind of, you know, stick together. They combine. You know, if you got, you know, spaces inside a particular neighborhood or community. I mean, it's harder to gentrify that place, man. Because they go after weak links. That's what gentrification is all about. You know, they go after weak links. Whatever they can't take by eminent domain, they just go after weak links. They offer people money. They beat them in the head. They tell them a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, whatever the case may be, and they get in. Once they get in, that's it. You got to stop the getting in. You got to get out in front of it. You have to get out in front of them, even getting in to begin with. Because once they in,
it's over.
That's it.
And then you try to, and then I'll say even controlling the get in, you got to be pro-black. And I'm not talking about bourgeois pro-black, because in Harlem, the bourgeois did that. The bourgeois moved in the first condominiums. Frank Mayers and Reverend Butts brought the first condominiums to Harlem for white people. You see what I mean? They did Stravers Row in Harlem. Stravers Row was originally built for white people to move up to Harlem. White people never wanted to do it. You know what I mean? So when they did it in the later part and they started redoing their properties and doing their stuff, Harlem became so caught up in the mix of gentrification. It's crazy over there because that's led by the church. Like Abyssinian Church and Reverend Butts, they own like 25%, 30% of Harlem. You see what I mean? Like the Abyssinian Church is a major player. So when Abyssinian Church okayed the gentrification of Harlem, you're talking about 25% of Harlem that automatically was okay with that. And then when you look at the other people and who they worked with, you can see how the things broke down. You know, you can see where people's snobby nose said, I'm not buying them broken down houses in Harlem. I'm not helping him pay his mortgage. Forget them. You know, you see it bad in Harlem. You see the bourgeois destroyed Harlem. They blame the dope, I blame the bourgeois. You know, and yeah, I blame the bourgeois. And anybody watching this that knows me knows when I was in Harlem, I was on Stravers Row. And I don't like bourgeois people. And yeah, that's Harlem. My studio was next to the president of the Harlem Children's Zone. And she never introduced herself as that.
Wow.
You see what I mean? Like Tupac, the picture with Malcolm X was in the window, the rifle, was on Stravers Row. I forgot the lady's name. She owned the bakery, the lady who owns the bakery building. It was in the backyard, facing the backyard foyer. Stravers Row, very historic area. And then bourgeois did not protect Harlem. They protected themselves. And so the gentrification is the same thing there. And when you come to Brooklyn, it's slightly the same thing, but it's the Jews are controlling it. So it's a completely different game, and it's extremely aggressive. You know, in Harlem it was like introduced to us in like a weird way because it was the black church leading it. Frank Mayers was one of the biggest attorneys in Harlem. You know, he's been there for years. He's brokered some of the biggest deals in Harlem. He's right there on Stravers Row. He owns several properties on Stravers Row. And very respectable man. And his perception of gentrification is crazy. He's like, yo, Q. And it's the bourgeois perception. Like, yo, Q, I know a lot of people didn't get good on it. He's like, yo, Q, a lot of us represent those who got rich. And I said, what did you do with it? You forgot about those. So you know about Harlem, Stravers Row is attached to 140th Street. 140th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue was the murder capital of black America for almost 40 years. So while the bourgeois was getting rich and fucking with crackers, they wasn't putting none of that money around the corner to help stop the shit that was plaguing their community. And that same mentality permeates all the way to today. You know, it's a little bit more, you know, it's not as blatant, but it's there. And I meet people that come in like, yo, Q, how you gonna do this without the white man? How you gonna do this space without the white man? Yeah, how you gonna do this without the white man? Yo, don't you think it should be like this? That's bourgeois. There's no such thing in guerrilla war. Guerrilla war, you do whatever you gotta do to get whatever you gotta get done. But then when we forget that we're at war and start thinking that there's a seat that we got and we're able to sit at this seat and talk to that person at this seat and discuss what's our problems and differences and move forward as people, I don't know what country you in. I don't know what planet you in. So if you don't walk in that room and see that as a necessity, you think you have this seat right here. So I would implore you to walk up the block and look at and find me a black-owned school in Brownsville, ran by an alpha, supported by alphas. I implore you to go up to Brownsville and find any black-owned program that's running independent of white people. In a city that's worth billions of dollars, you telling me that we can't build programs that don't need white folks? crazy. And so when I have people come in and I immediately see that bourgeois mentality, and it's like, oh, nah, you're not built for this. You too clean teeth. Your fingernails are too clean for me. You know what I mean? This is a real situation when, you know, and the programs that I put and we've established in this because they're a reflection of really what's needed. You know, we have in this area over, I think, let's say the same 5 blocks radius, about 100 churches. 100 churches, a huge jail for kids, no black-owned basketball courts, no black-owned sports rim. This is Brownsville. Let me put that in perspective. Brownsville, home of Mike Tyson. Brownsville, home of Riddick Bowe. Tons of basketball players. You know what I mean? Like, this is Brownsville. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Riddick Bowe was from it. Why the hell we don't got no black-owned shit? This is Brownsville. And so that mentality, and then when people becoming cool with that, is why this is so important for me. You know, and it's crazy. So like, I love the studio stuff, I love all that, but I love that little space. Because I love people's face when they come in and see it, and they be like, yo. And then when I tell them no crack or money allowed, leave it at the door. You want to give me some money on, white boy? At the door. You want to donate? You put it in GoFundMe all you want, man. Leave that shit at the door. I ain't shaking your hand. You know what I mean? Unless I write the terms, and even after I write the terms, I don't need to shake your hand off it. That's what the purpose of the contract is, to sign the contract and mail me the money. I don't want to shake your hand. We lost a lot of battles shaking hands. So until I feel better within ourselves and what we're doing, I don't want nobody help. I want to deal with us alone. I want to know what it's like to have to build a program and fail. Because I don't feel I'll never figure out what I need to do to succeed. So I don't want nobody help. If it ain't from us, I don't want it. When the microscopes break, I want to be able to figure out what to do to fix them. What we got to do to get more. I want to know what to do to make our telescopes better. What we got to do to protect our books. Get our own insurance for our stuff. We don't appreciate that. We'll never get that. And people who got this seat idea that we're in the same seat with these crackers, they're not going to tell you independence. They're going to tell you, work with them. Nah, you should go get funding from the white people. No, you shouldn't say that about Planned Parenthood. Yo, you should go work with the school of the block. What? What you talking about? You know, crackers in there, white folks in there. Kids don't need to see that. You need to understand that your kids need to see this. And watch as this elevates to the next phase. And the elevation on this one is only going further. Man, let me show y'all. I got on your part. So y'all see the elevation on this one ain't gonna be no small.
We up here, XYAYX Studios.
This is XYAYX Institute right
XYAYX Institute, y'all. T.P.O.T, we here. We up here with the Brother Que Butter, of course, as y'all already know.
Learning Lab.
Brownsville BK. And we inside the institute where he forms and shapes the young minds. You know? One of the few brothers that's actually doing it. See? Y'all seeing it all, man. XYAYX Studios, man. They doing it here, boy. The Brother Que is doing it big here. He's doing it big here. Much respect to this brother. Much respect. Much respect. And we're gonna take another soiree up the steps. Hopefully I can get up here without tripping. I came up here before and damn near fell, y'all. Damn near fell. But yeah. We here. There's no way I could come to BK and not come to XYAYX.
Go to our website, XYAYX.com, XYAYX.com /the XYAYX Institute, and you can get more information on all the programs we offer, where to donate, all that good stuff.
Yeah, support this man.
Y'all see what we got?
Support this man. All right, y'all. support that.
The boxing, alphas make alphas. Wow. You know what I mean? See stuff on there. I need volunteers. If you're in the New York area, please hit me up if you're willing to volunteer for a program that needs a lot of help, no budget, and we're trying to do it all on our own. And we got a population of people that don't want to be helped. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. Brother Black, yo T, come through with Brother Black, man.
They come through with Brother Black.
You gotta be Brother Black, man.
Brother Black.
I get you
a Brother Black.
See, he's normally doing the interviews.
Yeah, I don't really like being in front of the camera. I'm usually behind it.
I got everything there. He pulled up. And again,
I'm usually behind.
I got some Jews in here. If you want to hit me up about credit repair, understand, I'm showing you how to do it yourself.
Y'all get to see Brother Black too.
First, hit me up if you're willing to do it for yourself.
XYAYX. T.P.O.T. media on location.
Support my man's page. Subscribe, S.T.E.M. Hit him up if you need any film. Hit us up if you know. Let's hit us up, man. Network.
That's right. Network.
Oh, let me show this on my people that believe in the flat earth.
Oh yeah.
I know y'all don't like that. But Black Power, man. This is non-stop. Watch the next step. The elevation from this. Oh man, I already see the science lab. I guarantee you, the XYAYX Institute Science Lab will be open soon.
I can't even believe I'm here, y'all. I've watched it so many times on Facebook.
I gotta teach myself chemistry.
I'm actually here.
I put the challenge out to the community, saying I want somebody to come out here and show me some melanin. Ain't nobody respond yet, so I'm about to teach myself. Because I'm definitely not. I'm a physics head and math. I ain't no chemistry head. Even though I teach 2 classes in me. So I'm about to reteach myself chemistry just so I can show the children how to make melanin and carbon and different molecules with the pieces. But this is our space right here, man.
Yeah, man. I've seen it so many times because I watch your videos on YouTube and on Facebook. And I'm like, wow, man. You know, and I'm actually here, y'all. T.P.O.T. is actually here. Because you know we talk about this stuff on the platform, y'all, and I'm actually here, man. This is where like I said, this is where he shapes and teaches the young minds, man. And it's a magnificent thing, man. It is. I mean, it's an honor to be in here, actually. It is an honor to be in here.
You about to bring Brownsville boxing back?
And if you look around, you can kind of get an idea of what the young heads are getting taught in here, man. You know, This is STEM. Y'all do know what STEM is, right? Y'all listen to me. Y'all better know what STEM is.
We teaching them science and how to box.
You know, and teaching them how to box. Yeah, man. Just take a look.
And they come in here, they gotta know each person know. And you know what's crazy?
Let's take a look, y'all.
For me, I gotta step myself up.
I know y'all know who these people are. If y'all don't, y'all need to stop watching my stuff.
Word.
If you don't know every person on these portraits, stop watching my stuff. I mean it. Yeah, come back when you've read a few books or something. Come back then. But anyway, stop watching my stuff.
And I ain't gonna lie, this for me. This why, and that's why you heard the sister. I don't know if you're downstairs. She was like, "You've been upstairs." So like, yeah, I gotta switch up. I have to grow up even more. You know what I mean? So this little room pushed me even further because I'm like, yo, Q, you gotta be a better person. You gotta be more mature. You gotta be more of a leader. And I wasn't prepared for that. But it's needed.
So, do you teach all age children? Do you have a particular age that you kids that
5
you teach?
and up.
5 and up.
5 and up. But it's K through 12. So the only thing in kindergarten is our youth enrichment program. So on Sundays, that's my favorite one. We got the science on Sundays, and in the weekdays. See, we didn't plan for that, and so I thought I would just be able to open the space up and make the calendar. I didn't understand, and I homeschool my children, so I don't have a clue what's going on with the regular school. I had to switch up, and so now we're getting back into like literally meshing this program with the school calendar. So that really threw us off. So like, I don't know where the kids are off from school. I don't know where they're not. So regular school is crazy. During regular school, we have more children coming. when school is out, the children don't come, and it's because I don't even know when the school is out, so they already make plans for that time. And so it's more of a supplemental tool for the children who are in school, but now the children who homeschool, it's another challenge because I'm always downstairs at the studio. So coming upstairs to do it in the class, so it's a lot of little micromanaging to do together. And so the homeschooling parents, I just got a new person, I'm hoping that she's gonna come in and help volunteer during the day. So that way, for the summertime, we wanna offer, almost like I didn't do a regular, I can't say camp, but our learning programs for the summertime would be a little bit more shaped how conventional ones are. You know, only because I'm understanding that calendar, our community is so acclimated to that calendar, and it's intertwined into our community's culture. So for those of us who don't adhere to that calendar, we're just lost in the source, and I can't have a program like this and not know the calendar. I'm sitting like, what? I'm like, oh, so I literally, that's part of the canvas we're doing. So we're gonna visit, there's 3 schools in the area, there's like 10 daycare centers. We're gonna link up with all of them. I'm gonna offer them our S.T.E.M. So if they want us to come over there once a week, we can come over there and bring our programs to the classes. We'll let them offer, let them say they can come here and use this for a class if they need be. We're gonna bring the flyers and just stand in front of the school for a week, each school for a week, and just looking for, parents who look pro-black.
Y'all hear that, right?
I know how you look pro-black. You'll find out because I ain't gonna approach you. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta look like somebody I can deal with. Put it like that, and I can be in here. And that's our next stage. Literally, that's what we're planning for right now. Just updated the website, and we're about to do the flyers over. And if not this week, the following week, we're gonna be attacking all of the schools. We're gonna hit up this whole. That's our plan right now. We're taking over these 6 blocks right here. These 6 blocks is XYAYX. You can't come from between Eastern Parkway and Atlantic. That's XYAYX.
Haha, 6 blocks of XYAYX.
Yeah, I don't know, 6 8 blocks. That's XYAYX. Between Thomas Bourland and Saratoga, that's XYAYX. That building on the corner, the old folks home. We about to walk to the old folks home. We partnered up with Carver Bank, so I'm about to go to the old folks home with Project Flip and sign up the whole damn place to Carver Bank. So we're gonna go through there and do that with them, and hopefully get some volunteers from the old folks home to come over here and help us with the children during the day. And then we're going to have a women's center here for DV on this corner. So we're gonna try to reach out to them. So we were, whatever, get into your community, take over. And don't take no damn no's. You know what I'm saying?
Don't take no for an answer.
You won't be here till tomorrow. We're gonna be in the park with the children doing little boxing drills and sports drills. We got with the basketball cones. We trying to make it all around like it's us. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go to whatever NBA, you're gonna become a professional sports player. Why can't we make our own professional sports players? You know what I mean? Like that's
exactly.
I'm not mad at boxing. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at Muay Thai or MMA fighting. I'm mad at the fact that when our people get rich, they forget about being invested in our community. But it's because the community, what they were part of the community. So everyone that comes, even if they come in a little while, it's ingrained in them. And for me, even knowing how I'm watch this in the future, I'm talking to myself in the future as I watch this. Step your game up, Q. Be a better person. You can be even a stronger leader. You know what I mean? Wake up earlier. Do more, Q. You can do more. Talking to you, Q. Nobody else, Q.
I'm just saying, man. It's an honor to be here, man. I've seen it so many times. It looks just as impressive as it looks when I see it on TV. It's a real live classroom, y'all. Real live learning is going on here. Little young black minds are being enlightened here.
Yep.
Here, okay? Here.
You're gonna be
Remember that.
Come through Sunday for Science on Sundays class. And I think we're gonna be
I am gonna try to get back over here because, like I said, I might be here for another damn week. I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna be around. I have your number. I have your information.
That's our top class.
I appreciate you letting us come up in here, man. I wanted to talk to you. This is what I wanted to see more than anything else. I wanted to see this, and I'm seeing it, and it's magnificent, just like I knew it would be, man. And it's a wonderful thing, man. And like I said, T.P.O.T, man, we honored, man, that you had us and invited us in here, and we appreciate you, brother. We respect what you're doing. We appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate you, and you need to know that from T.P.O.T Media. All right, we up here in BK Brownsville, y'all. with the one and only, the one and only Q Butter, T.P.O.T Media exclusive. You know. All right, peace.
Peace.
Only from T.P.O.T Media. Open your minds.